Hello, users, and welcome to another daily dose of Above It All. I'm going to be doing at least 10 videos today, like I did of the past few days, and I'm probably going to be doing the same tomorrow. So the first thing I want to talk about today is Donald Trump going full dictator, going full Kim Jong-un here, and just straight up just denying any and all use of police force in regards to the Bible photo op. And I've got a AP fact check, which, I can go into a whole tangent about how much I dislike fact checking. But I also have the clip here in question. This was actually some, I'm surprised. Usually these things will link directly to this, but I had to actually search a bit to find out where he actually called the tear gas fake news. So I'm around approximately at this moment. I'm just going to play the clip until we get to the point and where we need to go, and then I will go back to this AP article, which shows us some pretty interesting information, some of which I did not know.
Good thing, not a bad thing, and many religious leaders loved it. As to, if you read Molly Hemingway, who I know you're a fan of, and I'm a big fan of, she wrote a piece that was all fake news. There's so much fake news. Most news is fake. They're corrupt and they're fake, the lamestream media. And if you read the story, and if you read what Molly Hemingway said, who's a real reporter, a great journalist, you'll see that that story was fake. They didn't use tear gas. They moved them out. Now, when I went, I didn't say, move them out. I didn't know who was there. I figured I was going to walk over to the church very nearby. So if you read the Molly Hemingway piece, you'll get the real story. But most religious leaders loved it. Why wouldn't they love it?
Anyway, so basically, he calls it lamestream media, says that the police didn't do anything, but also that they apparently did do something. He is both simultaneously saying that the police cleared crowds and that he didn't know that there were any crowds. So that's a little strange, a little weird. But this AP article here, I've got some things that, I originally didn't have this, but I can just ignore that because we just heard what he said. Authorities who came from more than half dozen agencies besides the park police set loose several wafting compounds, causing people to cough and gag as they scattered, their eyes red and streaming in some cases. As you can see, I'm going to mute that. They displayed the results of exposure to tear gas. Tears, for example. You can easily tell that right there is tear gas. You can easily tell what is happening here. And so the idea that Trump is going to deny this, it reminds me a lot of that whole weird Syria thing from a couple of years ago, where they kept saying that Assad was using chemical weapons on people, and then it reminds me of that in a way, though I'm not an expert on Syria, so I'm not going to go any further, but it's just the blatant disregard for facts, just basic, there's video evidence, you know what I mean? It was when that one dude in Minnesota was well, we don't know if we have the evidence to charge for murder, when the guy is on video murdering someone. It's one of those things where it's don't believe your lying eyes. And, in order to, actually take these people seriously, these people being Donald Trump and the fucking corporate fucking corrupt politicians in this country, in order to take these people seriously, you need to not only be a dumb motherfucker, you need to be one of, if not the dumbest motherfucker in the fucking country. Seriously, to look at a video like this and go fake news, lamestream media, believe me. It's just unfucking fathomable. I don't necessarily think Donald Trump is lying. It really is one of those, it's one of those fucking memes where it's is it in total incompetence and stupidity or just plain evil? Donald Trump is such an interesting blend of those two things, a lot like George W. Bush, but I think George W. Bush was more stupid and less evil, but obviously was more susceptible to evil in the administration, such as Dick Cheney, whereas I think Donald Trump is considerably himself more evil, even than a lot of people in his cabinet. There was this whole thing where I think Esper, defense secretary, was well, maybe we shouldn't use the military, and then Trump called him up, and then he fucking said a few hours later, well, no, I definitely support using the military. We're in a situation where it's kind of imagine Bush and Dick Cheney combined, they just used the Patora earrings and fuse into one being, and that's Donald Trump. You know, like, both extremely fucking stupid, so he has that, like, appeal and that, like, fucking people love to give him the benefit of the doubt for whatever reason. I don't know why, but for whatever reason, you see these Trump 2020 fucking cultist losers go like, whoa, you know, he just did all blah, 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 blah. You know, and then he's also evil as a motherfucker, and that's good for, like, the neo-Nazis and the white supremacists in our country. You know, the people that have infiltrated law enforcement. And it's like, this is, like, just such a fine line he's walking down. And again, just thinking of 4 more years of this Trump bullshit, I mean, I know it's going to happen. I know at this point it's probably inevitable. Just Joe Biden is such a horrendous fucking candidate. Like, seriously, just absolutely. Like, I thought Hillary Clinton was bad, but holy fuck. You know, like, holy fuck, man. But I've got some other interesting things I want to read from this article. The disabling effects of tear gas are designed to be short-lived, but the CDC says prolonged exposure may lead to long-term effects such as eye problems, including scarring, glaucoma, cataracts, and may... Sorry, I just ate before this. A little burpy. And may possibly cause breathing problems such as asthma. Keep in mind, they've been using tear gas on these protesters every single night. So if people are getting tear gassed like for 30 minutes a day, every day, for a week, maybe even 2 weeks, you know, coming up, that is going to have permanent life-altering effects. Of course, we also have a journalist who was shot in the eye with a rubber bullet and is now permanently blind. So it's like, the idea that Donald Trump is claiming that none of this happened, it's hard to tell if it's stupid and he just doesn't know, or if he's lying and is evil. But the material effect of the words that he says doesn't matter if it's stupid or evil, because he's still a piece of fucking shit, you know? Like, the material effect is evil, therefore the intent is irrelevant. I know I spent too much time on that whole thing, but I don't know, man. Sometimes when I make videos with Trump in the title, I get these really snowflakey crybabies that go like, oh, how dare you, Trump is just being sarcastic. So, I mean, if I'm making a video about Trump specifically, I try to throw a few of those little bones in there. An Army Research Institute paper in 2009 cites riot control agents and tear gas interchangeably. Interesting. It also says tear gas is something of a misnomer because the agents tend not to be gaseous, and modern compounds can affect a wider variety of organs as well as the eyes, lungs, and digestive tract that are historically the targets of tear gas. So one of the things is tear gas is kind of like an umbrella term from what I understand. So it's like, if something has the effect of being, you know, making someone cry and like stunning them, then it's called tear gas. So they can use 15 different chemical compounds. They could use 3 different chemical compounds. You know, as long as the net result is stunning people and forcing them to cry and then run away from that area, then that's called tear gas. And that makes things, actually, again, I did not know this, so this makes things a little bit more interesting. Are all the police forces using the same tear gas? I don't know. Are they all, like, are the DC police or the DC militarized, like, fucking paramilitary terrorist occupational fucking force, are they using more profound and deadly forms of tear gas than, say, they're using in Seattle or New York City? I'm not sure. I don't know. And this is one of those things where if there's a good cop out there, come on, man. Just take a bunch of pics of their fucking, like, the stash, you know, like, set the stash on fire, leak the fucking photos on fucking the internet, and then send me the fucking links. Like, come on, good cops. Like, come on. We have all these questions that I'd love to have answered. Where are the good cops? I really don't know where the good cops are right now. But again, Donald Trump is lying about terrorizing and assaulting his own citizens. And at this point, if you are not taking this seriously enough to consider buying a gun or consider training in some sort of martial art or, you know, prepare yourself in some sort of way, we are now entering a new stage of American society. This is a police state. This is a fascist police state. And if Donald Trump gets another 4 years, right, then we are all fucked, right? Like, say what you want about Joe Biden. He is a fucking dumb fuck, but Jesus Christ, man. Like, Donald Trump with 4 more years is a harrowing prospect, and even though it's, at this point, seemingly inevitable because of the controlled opposition of the Democrat Party, it looks like you got to prepare yourself. You got to prepare yourself sooner than later. I'm not trying to be an alarmist. I'm not trying to be like a paranoid freak. I'm just saying there's going to be a moment in your life where you need to make a split-second decision, and you need to be able to do something that you probably aren't able to do right now. And I say this to myself. I've been trying to get into shape. I've been trying to do all this. I'm trying to take this very seriously because it is a very serious thing that we are going through. And if you have any care in the world about people that are less like well off than you, more vulnerable people, minorities of any kind, especially black and brown people, then like if you care about them or just the cause in any capacity, you owe it to yourself and to us to take this seriously enough that if push comes to shove, you are able to get out of a situation safely and securely and live another day. Because again, there's protesters that are dying, people being shot and killed, people being maimed, permanently blinded, permanently disabled. Like, the police are opening war on the citizenry of the United States of America. If you are not taking this seriously by now, I suggest you take it seriously after watching this video. If not, then there's a very good chance you're going to regret that at some point in the coming months or years. But thank you for watching. Tune in for more videos. I'm going to be making a lot today. There's a lot to cover. And again, if police brutality is something you don't want to watch, feel free not to watch any of the videos, like that's fine. But police brutality is something super important, and it's what we have to realize, that this is a thing that is happening. And for anyone who does not have specific trauma associated with the police department, I would say it's incumbent upon you to educate yourself as to what these people are doing. Because like if you yourself haven't been brutalized by the police yet, right? You may very well be brutalized by the police in the coming, weeks or months or years. There's really no way to predict the future right now. Every single day we are living out one day at a time, and it's not a soap opera, y'all. This is real fucking life.